In 1996, we had two major hurricanes that hit our coast. Bertha and Fran, I believe it was, in that order. Which at the time, I lived oceanfront. And the first hurricane didn't really do a whole lot. We left the house, but we came back, didn't really find anything wrong. So I think that when Fran came through, we weren't really expecting much. And we did leave, but we didn't take a whole lot. But what we came back to was total destruction. There was probably 3.5 feet of sand inside of our house. And we could see like the water line on the wall probably was 3 to 4 feet high. And unfortunately, we had left most everything there. We just took the bare essentials with us that we needed probably to get through the weekend. My mom's, she was single, trying to raise 2 kids. We didn't have anywhere to go. We didn't have anything other than the car and whatever was in the car. And that's all we had. I mean, I do remember through the years in and out of church, but it wasn't nothing permanent, nothing that I really didn't understand anything that it was being taught from the Bible. I'll put it that way. But when I found Life Point, it was definitely a different atmosphere, and I kind of grasped things a little bit better. Started grasping things a little bit better. It's finally, I had been coming. I mean, I had been coming a couple Sundays consistently, and I've heard that if you haven't made a decision, and what really stood out to me is I don't know if I had made that decision. I don't know what happened if I was younger and what went on. But the thing was that I didn't make the decision. If anything had happened, it wasn't me. So that kind of hit me hard and was like, dude, you need to be all in on this situation, and you need to know for your sake that you've decided and this is what you want. I was not a people person. I didn't like people. People had hurt me. I had hurt people. And all honestly, people were just hateful. That's just my whole deal. I didn't like crowds. I didn't want to be in crowds. But all of that changed. I mean, all that changed. I would have never raised my hand. That wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have done that. But can I tell you I did? Absolutely I did. I sure did. Yeah, without any doubt. I mean, it's just like a sense of peace. My understanding of salvation and baptism and the next steps, I didn't understand that except the way that Pastor Jeff explained it. His teaching and his method of explaining things that actually, made me grasp it and understand why I need to do this, and that is the next step. So I was like, I think I need to do this. I decided to wait for beach baptisms for 2 reasons. One is my wife and my oldest daughter decided to do baptisms. We were going to do it together. But the second reason being that I know Jesus, he came in and washed away all the sin. But back in '96, when that hurricane came in and took everything from me, I wanted once again for that ocean just to take all of that old away. And when I came out, Jesus he's already cleansed this body. So when I walk up out of that water, it's a brand new me, and everything old is in that ocean, where everything else that I had is going to stay. I'll put it to you this way. It's like if you had a ton of bricks on your shoulders, those are gone. That weight was lifted off. All that stuff that I stored up in here for whatever reason that I thought I could fix, it's been lifted up. It's lifted off. It's gone. And it feels like not only a new person, but it's like I got a chance to do what God intended me to do. I have a purpose. If I hadn't met Jesus, I would not be serving in church. I would not be on a serve day. I would not be participating in any community events, and I would definitely not be in Nicaragua. If you'd asked me 3 years ago, would you ever come overseas, I would have said no. I never been on an airplane. I'm not going 1,500 miles across the coast. There's no way. Jesus showed compassion to everybody. And if I'm going to be more like Jesus, I got to be compassionate. How can I be more compassionate than with amigos? I have never met anybody more compassionate, more loving in the poorest community that I've ever been in. But if they have one thing, they have love. That's what I learned when I first came down here. What I learned was how to better love people. That's what I'm going to take back with me, how to love people better. And I love what Amigo says, Now ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And that's what's happened. I mean, that's what's happened to me. I've, been this shy, outcast person that didn't want to participate in anything, to how can I better love people now? I want to be right in the middle of it. I want to be next to the people that are hurting, that are going through stuff, that just need somebody to listen to them. Maybe if that's what it takes, then I want to be that person. If you've made a decision to follow Christ, this is your next step, and it's not anything to even be worried about or be scared about. It's saying that what's happening in here, I'm letting everybody else know, and it's a huge celebration. You want everybody else to know. I mean, you don't want to hold this in. You need to let it out, and when you let it out, and you feel a sense of relief, a sense of peace, and the Holy Spirit just starts working through you, man. It's not anything to be nervous about, for sure. It's actually exciting. I mean, especially if you do it at the beach. I couldn't think of a cooler place to have an actual wave just take away. Jesus would wash your sin away, but let that wave just take away that old, strip away that old. And when you come up out of that water, you're like, yeah, dude, this is a new me right here. I'm walking up out of that water, and I got a new life. It's nothing better than that.